Okay, on this video I'm talking about how to gain points or coins by clicking on the boxes here, the blue or green boxes, or by the button. So when you collect, you gain a point, and then once you reach up to 5, you go to the next room. But let me show you with the green, collect, or you can reduce the number of points by pressing the spacebar or enter button. Reduce it, and then it won't go down to 0. It'll stay at 0 and won't go down any further. And you want that. You don't want to make it look like -1, -2, because that doesn't make sense. Or press the button to gain your score, and after 5, then you go to the next room. So let me just show you what I did here. So I dragged over a object score here, which is a question mark. It doesn't need a sprint. Do an add event, create, then drag over a coded sheet, and you want to say this. So your first score, which I believe is the the blue gets global.points equals 0. The green will get global.points 1 equals 0. Make sure that you can change these names to anything you want, but you have to have global and dot in front of it, and make sure they're different. If you have them the same, then when you collect a box, then you'll get a score for both, and you don't want that to happen. You want to have them separated. So that's the first thing here. Then you do a draw event and the add event, and then you drag over code. The first text, I label it points, and I gave it a space here because if you put a parentheses like that, then the number is going to be right up against the S, and I don't want that. So you want to have a space in between the word and the number, or you could have you could do an equal sign too, to have an equal sign and then the number, but make sure you have a space. And then this is talking about the X and Y coordinates, where the score is going to be positioned in the room at, and then make sure it's labeled the same, global.points, like I talked about in the create. And then I'm going to have this these points colored green, and you can choose from a wide range of colors in GameMaker. You got black, blue, gray, green, maroon, navy blue, olive, orange, purple, red, silver. And so I chose lime. There's a green, but green looks too dark for me, so I use lime. And then you want to make sure you have a separate script for your coins, and because for some reason if you put this script in the same script here, this code in the same script, then you can't really have two different colors for some reason. I think GameMaker will just choose one, the first one, whatever choice you made. Like if I copy this, right, and I just grade this out real quick, and I put it in the first script, I'm really, let me see what this happens. I think it's going to give me one color. No, it doesn't. Okay, well I was wrong. So you only need, but I know there's a choice here in the draw event. If you choose this set color, then you're only going to get that one color, because I know that for a fact. So make sure you code it for draw set color, because if you don't code it, you're only going to get that one color. If you drag this drop in, it doesn't work right. So I don't need this script here. And then I had a set font, which is this font here. I chose Arial. And I think there might be a way to going into the script here to even change the font if you wanted to. Font set, and you could probably have a size and a max, but I'm not sure how to do that yet. So this shows one font choice. And then you have your buttons here, button 2, button 3. And then when you press left press on your button 2, you got a set variable called global.points. Value is 1, relative. So when you click on the button, it'll give you one point of score. Then you do your test variable. This is all in your code tab here. So once you collect up to 5 points, it's equal to, you'll go to the next room. If you do greater than or equal to, it does the same thing. Once you click on the 5th object, you'll go to the next room. Do less than or greater or equal to or less than, you just collect 1 and you pretty much go to the next room. So make sure it says equal to whatever number you want to put up here. Global.points have to match what it says here in the variable here. Also in the create statement I talked about, in the object score has to be the same name, otherwise it won't give you a score. Then you do a start and end block. Set your variable back to 0 for global.points, and then it jumps to the next room. When you hover over your mouse button, it's going to change to a green color. Make sure the alpha is 100, otherwise you won't see the color change. When you leave the mouse, when you leave the button, it goes back to the original color, which is yellow. When you press the enter button, you're going to basically tell the computer to subtract 1 from your score up until 0. Once it's 0, you can't go below any more than that. So make sure you set it to greater than, because if you use equal to or less than or whatever, it doesn't work correctly. It'll give you like it'll go down to -1, -2, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's at 0 and you can't go any further. If you keep pressing the enter button, it won't go any further than 0. It won't go -1, it won't go -2. It'll go to 0 and that's it. Then you collect 1 or 2 coins or whatever and do the same thing. It goes back to 0 when you press the enter button. And so then you have a variable here. Yeah, like I said, it'll subtract 1 from your score. Make sure it's set to relative. And you do the same thing for the button 3. But you call it global.points 1 because you're talking about the coins, I believe, not the points. You're going to gain 1 score, set relative. Then once it hits up to 5, then it's going to go to the next room. Then reset your variable back to 0. Then go to the next room. And then mouse enter over. When you go over the button, it turns green. When you go away from the button, it turns back to the original color. And when you hit spacebar, it's going to reduce the number of your points down to 0. It won't go any below. It won't go anything below. It won't go below 0. It'll go to 0 and stop. And set it to greater than. And then when you collect using your mouse for the green or blue box, it's the same setup here, except you add this destroy instance and set it to other. So you're going to actually destroy the object you pick up. Don't set it to self, otherwise it will destroy all the green boxes. So like I said, everything is the same in the button, except the button didn't have the destroy option. Because if you have a destroy option in the button, it'll destroy the button, and you don't want it to destroy the button. All right, so it's the same setup here for the blue box, except like make sure that the global is different. Make sure it's not global.point. It's not global.point1. It's not called global.points 1, because if you do, it'll give you point for both, and you don't want that. You want to have it separated. So, like I said, the blue box is labeled global.points, and the green box is labeled global.points 1. All right, and that will conclude this video. Thanks for watching.